What's up, you sausages? Welcome back to episode 5 now of Building a Billion Dollar Brand from Scratch. If you guys have been keeping up with the series, I'm sorry it took 2 months for me to upload this episode that you're watching right now. I have a lot of updates for you guys, and it's going to make sense why it took so long. All right. So for those of you new here, you clicked on this video. What's up? I'm Damien. A couple months ago, I set out to create this series that you're watching on my channel where I basically build a billion-dollar brand from scratch. And I'm documenting it right here on YouTube on my channel, right? So everything from product research to manufacturing to design and actually launching the business, you guys are getting a front row seat into seeing how I would basically launch a brand from scratch, right? So if you're thinking of launching your own brand, you can see exactly what I'm doing. Now, again, if you're new here, this is why you should listen to me. I started my first brand back during my freshman year of college when I was 18. And that brand at its peak was doing around $50,000 per month. It was a meditation cushion. I also launched and sold a cookie company called Effing Good for a high six-figure amount back in April of 2024. And then September of last year, I launched a gummy brand, and we're currently doing around $300,000 per month, and we made $1 million within the first 6 months of the business. So with that being said, shameless plug, if you're looking to launch and start your own e-com brand using TikTok Shop and Amazon, I left a first link in the description where you can basically fill out an application, book a call, and see if it's the right fit and see if I can help you basically turn an idea in your head into something that you can hold in your hand and sell it to other people. So here are the couple updates, right? This is what you guys are here for. This is what we're going to be talking about. So first things first, I have pivoted from a previous idea. So for the first 4 episodes, I told you guys that I was going to launch a protein coffee. And a big issue that we were having was basically the taste of the product, and B, the unit economics just did not make sense at all. Like, we were getting quotes anywhere from, $15 to like $28. Because the ingredients we wanted to use was premium. This was something that I wanted to make because personally I drink a protein coffee every single morning. I have milk, vanilla protein powder, and then those like Cometeer frozen ice puck coffee things. I dumped one in there. So I was like, why don't I just make my own? So it's a very simple process and just combines everything, so you don't need to do like 5 different steps, right? We wanted to use like the best quality protein from New Zealand, whey isolate. And obviously if you use the best, you're going to pay a premium, right? And so at the end of the day, I still think it's an amazing product idea. Like, maybe one day I still want to do it. I just, because it's something that I'm genuinely, I wouldn't say passionate, but like I would use on a day-to-day basis, so I think there's no better feeling than using something that you created every single day. And so I still think it's a great idea, but just couldn't really make the unit economics make sense. And then I also didn't just want to spend like, 50 grand just like out the door launching this company. And so I decided to pivot, right? I'm also going to talk about how I came up with this new idea. My plan, I didn't finish typing this. I'm actually about to go to tennis in like 15 minutes. But I'm recording this video for you guys. My plan on launching this new brand, where we're currently at, problems and bottlenecks, and what our next steps is. So a lot of juicy sauce in this video. So make sure you stick around to the very end if you're serious about launching your business, because I literally don't gatekeep anything and I share everything. So let's touch on this point, how I came up with my new idea, right? So there's very few brands where I look at it and I'm like, damn, like this is a brand that I would love to build. Or I look at it and be like, wow, like this is just the perfect business, right? And one of those brands that I really, really, really admire, both the product, the positioning, the branding, the execution, is a brand called Jolie. So for some of my health and wellness nerds out there who care about shower water as much as I do, it's basically a filtered shower head that looks pretty, and they position it as a beauty tool, which is something that hasn't been done in the category before. So if you look at it, basically it's a shower head, right? Very beautiful, comes in beautiful packaging. And if you look at all their messaging, it talks about, the problem is our water system is fucked up. Jolie is the solution. Fewer breakouts, softer skin. You don't fucking lose your hair. All this sort of stuff, right? And the genius about this business is if you guys have ever bought like printers, right? Or Nespresso machines, they don't actually make that much money off the machine or the printer or the coffee machine, right? They make, just to get away from me. They make money from the filters, right? The ink, cartridge, and the coffee pods. You know what I mean? And so you buy a piece of hardware, but because you bought that hardware, you have to keep buying the thing to make the machine work, right? With Nespresso, you have to keep buying the pods. With printers, you have to keep buying the ink. And with Jolie, you buy the shower head, but you have to keep buying the filter over and over again so that the shower filter works, right? And think about it. If someone spends any sort of effort and time into replacing their shower filter with a Jolie, chances are they're not going to switch to another brand, right? Just think about it. If you put your shower filter on, the chance of you switching to another brand or not buying the filter is very slim, right? And so I'm pretty sure their subscription retention is like 90 something percent, right? 90 something percent, which is crazy. So Jolie is like the picture perfect business in ecom. One, you get them with a very high ticket price, $170 or $150, and then you keep selling them the filter on the back end so that you keep making revenue on that customer, right? Another brand that I admire a lot is a brand called Clean Skin Club. And what this is it's basically a face towel. Because if you guys didn't know, your towels currently are breeding grounds for bacteria, right? You wash your face with it, you dry your body with it, it gets wet, and then when it's damp, bacteria can, be in your towel. And so basically that causes acne. And Clean Skin Club basically came out with this disposable face towel where instead of using your towel to wash your face and do all that shit, you just use their towel, right? And so this is another one of those brands where I admire. And what I basically did was I looked at what are some of the common denominators between Jolie and Clean Skin Club, right? I put it in ChatGPT. I was like, why do these brands do so well? And if you think about it, shower filters and face towels are not anything revolutionary, right? Very commodity products. Shower filters have been around for a long time. Face towels have been around for a very long time. So what makes these two brands absolutely crush it? It's the fact that they took a normal everyday product, a commodity, made it nice, and positioned it towards a desire that a lot of people have, which is beauty, right? And particularly acne. So Jolie took a normal everyday filter, made it look pretty, and said, if you use this, you're going to get less acne. Same thing with the face towel. If you use this, you're not going to get acne and your acne will improve. So I'm like, instant light bulb. Okay. I'm always a big believer in selling products that solve a problem that a lot of people would pay a lot of money for. So what does that mean, right? Think about it. With women, weight loss, biggest category of insecurities, right? For women, hair loss, acne, bloating, all of these. The bigger the problem that you solve, right, the more you get paid, if you think about it. And so you always kind of want to, whenever you're thinking about a product idea, or at least that's how I think about it, it's what is the main problem that this product solves? Or if you see something and you're like in a very big category, but no one's talking about solving it using, nobody's talking about that product solving an acne or a bloating or a weight loss, right? You can easily use that angle to win. That's basically what these two brands did, right? They didn't come up with anything revolutionary. They just talked about it differently. They found a unique angle. And so long story short, I basically put these two brands into ChatGPT. And I was like, break it down for me. Why did they do well? It was in a very big total addressable market, repeat purchases, targeted acne. And so I was like, okay, how can I take the principles of these two brands that are fucking crushing it, and how do I create something that follows those same principles? And so one day it just kind of hit me. So I'm going to reveal my brand right now. And I was basically scrolling on Instagram and I saw this. It was, I'm sure Google Images probably has it. Some shit like this, right? Something similar. It says an unwashed pillowcase can harbor up to 3 million bacteria, making them 17,000 times dirtier than a toilet seat, right? One phenomenal fucking hook. Like imagine if you were just scrolling on TikTok and someone showed you that or said that, right? You'd instantly be like, holy fuck, like I can't believe I've been sleeping on my pillowcase and it's been so dirty, right? But this is how I kind of came up with the idea. I was like, no one has talked about cleaning your pillowcase to prevent acne, right? So I looked into it a little bit more. Obviously, there's silk pillowcases, and they kind of talk about it in a similar way. But if you look more into it, silk pillowcases don't actually prevent acne. It just helps it because it doesn't actually kill the bacteria itself. It just, it helps with your hair, wrinkles, anti-aging, because the friction isn't as strong, but it doesn't actually prevent acne. And so I was like, maybe if I can create something where people basically spray their pillowcase, it cleans up, 90%, 99%, whatever it is, bacteria, so that people don't wake up with breakouts, right? And the whole sell is, girls are spending hundreds of dollars a month on their skincare routine. Why would you then put your face on your pillow for 8 hours a night filled with bacteria, right? So that was kind of the light bulb moment. And so, introducing No Trace, which is the pillow cleanser is what I'm calling it. This is kind of what the bottle looks like, boys. Let me put in a white background so you guys can see it better. Hold on, let me see if I can make myself bigger. Bang. So this is what it looks like. This is why I've been MIA from posting the videos, because I've been working behind the scenes on making this shit happen, although I should have probably just made a video instead. But yeah, this is the box. Very nice, very nice. Your pillow is dirtier than a toilet seat. Why pillow hygiene matters. So basically what it is, it's the main ingredient's called hypochlorous acid. Hold on, let me make myself a little bit smaller. So the main ingredient is hypochlorous acid, which is already a very popular product on Amazon. So if I type in hypochlorous acid spray, it has like 100,000 searches a month. And typically the use case for hypochlorous acid is you would spray it on your face like post-workout or anytime after you sweat or before, and it would just clean up the bacteria so you don't wake up with breakouts, right? And so this product is basically the same thing, except remember how I talked about the whole unique angle and positioning, all that sort of stuff, and use case? No one has ever positioned this product towards cleaning your bacteria on your pillowcase, which I think it's gonna fucking crush. Like I have so much conviction in this, because once we explain the problem to people, which is your pillowcase is fucking dirty, 17,000 times dirtier than a toilet bowl, once they hear that, every single time they go to bed, they're gonna like remember that moment, right? And so, this is it. This is her. I'm super excited. It's glass too. You hear that? But I'm super stoked for this. Been working for the past, month and a half on designing everything, the bottles, working with a manufacturer, all of that sort of shit. And so kind of walk you guys through how I designed it, because I feel like, I kind of skipped a couple steps, and the whole point of this is me documenting everything so that I can one day look back on this and be like, wow, this is fucking cool. Or show my kids, hey, your dad used to do this shit, right? So what did I do? I did beauty, packaging, design. And this is something that I recommend all of you to do whenever I start with packaging. I mean, what appeals to me is not necessarily going to appeal to you, and vice versa, right? And so what I always recommend people do is take a note of what brands you like or love, right? And then write down why you love them. You might be super into, luxury premium. So something like an Aesop, something like an Apple, something like a Dyson, right? That aesthetic might appeal to you a lot. And so anytime you're designing packaging or branding, design it for you and who you're trying to sell to, because everyone has their own preference. And so I always recommend just like design something for you, because chances are if you like it, other people are going to like it too. Personally, I like bright colors a lot. I'm just a sucker. I'm a Gen Z girl, I guess, with this matcha latte. But I like bright colors a lot. So if you look at something like this appeals to me, right? I think this is fucking sick. That would catch my attention. Versus something like this probably appeals to more of like the wellness, drinks matcha latte, does Pilates. Not really my speed. But like something like this is fucking dope to me. So I always start off by going on Pinterest, or another site to look at is Behance.net. And so it's kind of the same thing. You can just type in beauty, packaging design, and then just kind of see what catches your eye. And then what I always do is I would just create a board. So, blah, 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 whatever. And just save any images or packaging that you really like. I think this is fucking cool. So I would just like save that to a board. That way, whenever you're actually, working with the designer or using AI to come up with your draft packaging, you already have all the inspiration to pass it on to the AI or pass it on to your designer. You know what I'm saying? So like this shit's cool. This shit's cool to me too. So I just like really funky shit, like bright shit. If I say shit one more time, like that's fucking cool to me. You know what I mean? So, but like I said, what appeals to me might not appeal to you. I'm just a sucker for nice packaging, funky fonts, and bright colors. So if anyone wants to send me something, make sure it falls into that. But that's kind of how I came up with the packaging. Put together like a little mood board. And then obviously, this is something that you spray on your pillow before you go to bed. And so that's why it's kind of mainly that purple color. So that's kind of how I came up with it. So now that we got through how I came up with my new idea, let's go through the meat and potatoes of this video, which is my plan on launching this brand. So I put together this kind of like high level overview on basically how I plan on launching this brand. It's very similar to how I launched my gummy company. Obviously the game's changed like a little bit, so I tweaked it, but let me just walk you guys through this. Alrighty, so phase 0, launch pre-orders. I'm a big believer in anytime you have an idea, the fastest way to validate it is just to test it, right? You can test different angles of landing pages, test different offers, test different creatives. And so my usual process, and I've talked about this in my other videos, is I would just create a very simple landing page. So something like, this, or something like this, which is one of my buddy's company that he's about to launch. And so actually, funny story about this is he doesn't even have product yet, but he's already taken like 15 different orders for this product. And so very simple, just create a simple landing page talking about your product, its features, its benefits, why they should care, why they need it, when can they expect results, have an offer in there. So set up a very simple page like this, create a couple static ads. Like it doesn't have to be, like a lot of people think you have to go super crazy. It doesn't, right? Just create a very simple static ads using ChatGPT, Canva, all of that shit, and just put all of that in the ad account, and just let it rip, and see if you can actually get some sales from it. If you can, great. If you can't, then you're cooked. So yeah, that's what we're currently working on right now. The page should be done pretty soon, I believe. And yeah, we're just testing, different angles based on our buyer persona document that we created, which I talk about in other videos of mine. If you guys are confused, you can just watch the other videos. But yeah, create a buyer persona doc, test different angles based on that, test different offers, test different creative angles, static ads, all of that shit. So that's kind of what we're working on. So that's phase 0. Phase 1 is kind of goes hand in hand, but kind of researching different content angles. So obviously I already talked about your toilet bowl is 17,000 times dirtier. Very shocking fact, which definitely will hook people's attention. Like this one, why are you spending hundreds of dollars when you're dunking your face in bacteria for 8 hours? So I feel like that angle would crush. I think a big one, obviously with any sort of acne product, showing before and after and making it as visual as possible, right? So showing someone's acne prone. You guys didn't know this, but I actually had like really bad skin in high school. Like really bad skin in high school. Like now, I take my my beef tallow and shit, so it looks great, I think. But back then, dude, your boy had pretty bad acne, and I would be like, doing a bunch of shit like shower filter, changing my pillowcase every single week, trying to eat different shit, try to stop drinking milk. So I've been through this, so I kind of get it. So yeah, showing before and after as visual as possible. Another creative angle could be, a UV light showing how dirty the pillow is. We then spray the pillow, and then it's like all the bacteria is gone. So yeah, whatever product that you guys are deciding on, just come up with like a couple different either content angles or like marketing angles that you can test when you're officially launching, because it's all just about testing. Like I don't know which angle is gonna fucking work, right? I have an idea of which one's gonna work, whichever one's kind of the most visual, shocking, controversial. Those always kind of do the best. It just is how it is. So yeah, phase 2 is start putting together a list of 200 influencers to seed product out to. And I'll explain kind of why we do this. I think this is a product that is extremely visual. I think it targets a very big pain point that a lot of women face. And I think it's unique in how we're talking about it. And so I want to get it into the hands of as many different beauty influencers, people who talk about their skincare journey, all of that shit. And the way we kind of do this is the initial message is going to be something like, let me write this down actually. Initial message would be, hey, name, love the content love the video about, insert something personal. I'm Damien and I'm the founder of No Trace. We created a pillow cleanser that cleans up 99% of bacteria on your pillowcase, so you don't wake up with broken out. I'd love to send you one to try. No strings attached. And this is key, guys. I think a lot of people, when they reach out to influencers, they say like, hey, I'm going to ship you a product only if you make a video about it, right? And the best analogy I can think of this approach is like, imagine you're taking a girl on the first date, and within the first second of meeting her, you're like, you want to go back home, right? It's kind of the same shit. Like they don't know you, you don't know them. You kind of got to build like some sort of rapport. And I think the best way to do that is by the law of reciprocity, right? You give them something, therefore they feel inclined to help you out. And the way they help you out is by posting content, right? And so I love to say this no strings attached way, hoping that, they actually like the product. They like the unboxing experience. We're going to send them a personalized handwritten card. So all of those touch points are so good so that they think, wow, like this company just did all this for me. Let me just like snap a picture and post it on my Instagram, right? And so once we do that, send it out to 200 influencers. Let's say half of them post about it, right? That's 100 pieces of content that we can capture all just from seeding, and your seeding costs are just, whatever your cost of goods are plus your shipping costs, right? So could turn out to be like $5-6 for a piece of content, right? Which is a very, very fucking good deal. And then so we're going to capture all of that. We're going to ask their permission, be like, hey, so glad you loved it, blah, blah, blah. Can we use it for 30 days on our other social platforms? Run all that shit on Meta, TikTok, and then our pitch is kind of like whatever revenue that we generate from your content, right? We'll just give you 10% of that shit. And also for the people that actually post about it, they loved your product so much organically, right? That they just post about it for free. What you can then do is invite them into your affiliate program, whether that's for TikTok Shop or just content for Meta, right? Where they're just making videos and they're earning some sort of commission. And you can just invite them into your affiliate program. Chances are I'm saying yes to that after posting about it for free organically, and they actually like your product. Fantastic, right? Phase number 3. Oh, I forgot to mention, make sure when you're seeding, have like really nice packaging, have your product, and then ideally some sort of handwritten card from you as the founder to that person, right? That actually goes a really long way. Phase 3, launching on TikTok Shop. So currently, where we're currently at with the business is we just placed an order for 6,000 units of these bottles. And so we're making these bottles overseas, and we're going to send them all to our manufacturer in the States. So currently these bottles are being produced. It should take around like 20, 25, 30 days, no later. And then once the bottles are done, we then ship it to the US, and then our manufacturer is basically going to fill the liquid inside the bottle, right? So that's kind of where we're currently at with the business. So once everything's wrapped up, with the 6,000 units is all done, we're going to launch that shit on TikTok Shop. So we're going to send probably around 4,000 units over to our 3PL. And for those of you who don't know, 3PL is just your third-party logistics, where they're responsible for shipping out your units to customers, so you don't scam people. I've seen so many fucking memes about like, the best way to improve your margins is just don't ship out the orders, right? So yeah, 4,000 units to your 3PL, and then 2,000 units you're going to send over to Amazon. And I'll explain why in a second. But first, let me talk about TikTok. So we're probably going to price this shit around $25, but then we're going to flash sale it to 20. And the reason why we want to do that is a flash sale on TikTok lasts 48 hours, right? And you have to keep like renewing it. But the reason we do it is that for anyone that goes on a TikTok Shop listing and you have a flash sale on, it's just going to say like create some sort of scarcity, some sort of FOMO, like this product's on sale, there's only 12 hours left, right? So that's kind of the plan. 25, flash sale it to maybe like $20, or pricing will be 30, flash sale it to 25. We'll kind of price test that shit. We're going to offer 30% commission to creators, so kind of high, I know, but I always like to reverse engineer that into my margins. Like I always tell people, you have to have at least 70% gross margins if you're trying to launch a brand, ideally 80%. Otherwise, after ads, after OpEx, after commissions, after all the fees, you're going to be left with nothing. So at least have 70-something%. Offer 30% to creators. What we're going to do is, and I talk about this all the time, is with TikTok Shop, you really want to, with TikTok Shop, the 0 to 1 phase is the hardest, and the best way to do that is you need consistent videos being pumped out. Consistent quality videos being pumped out of your product. 0 to 1 phase is the hardest. And so the best way to do that, to kick things off, is you want to have a snowball effect, right? And the way you do that is you kind of assemble your kind of like little Avenger squad. So you put kind of people on retainer. They would make like 30 videos a month. So if you do the math, 30 times 10, that's 300 pieces of videos. You're just kind of swing as many times, at the bat for the fences, and hopefully one of them hit, right? You might get posted 300 videos, maybe one of them does well. And then from that one, you just double, triple, quadruple down. squeeze that shit as much as possible until the well runs dry, right? You're really just trying to find that 1% outlier video that just does extremely fucking well for your product. Once you do, you just rinse and repeat it as many fucking times as possible. You squeeze the shit out of that format. And yeah, that's pretty much the name of the game, right? But initially, you got to have volume in order to find the quality. You know what I'm saying? And then what we're also going to do is we're going to hire 10 different reposters to rip AI videos. So I also have a AI UGC tool called Parallel that I own, that I created earlier this year, where you can basically create unlimited AI videos so that you can have people just post about them, right? So we'll have our reposters kind of use our tool to create, 10 different videos a day across 10 different reposters. So that's another 100 videos. And they would just, download all these videos and then post them across their TikTok shop account. Another thing that I'm seeing is TikTok is slowly moving to a pay-to-play platform as well, where organic doesn't hit as hard as it used to compared to like a year and a half ago. You have to spend money on ads if you want to make shit work, right? And GMV Max is the TikTok native ad platform, where basically you would just set a target ROAS, you set a budget, and then TikTok would just spend on creatives where it thinks it can drive sales and hit your target ROAS, right? You guys can look more into it. Just look up GMV Max. But slowly and surely, TikTok's following Meta, following all these social platforms where you have to pay to play, right? And then obviously, we're going to have an outreach bot. The one that I personally use is called Uptake.io. Shout out to Sebastian. He's the boy. And this basically just outreaches to affiliates. They would apply for a free sample. You would ship it to them, and they would make a video on your behalf. And that's like a whole separate thing. But this is just kind of like a set it and forget it thing, right? You just have to have it. There's no reason for you not to. And then you also should have like an amazing content brief. Oh God, I've been talking a lot. 32 minutes in. I'm definitely going to be fucking late to tennis. I was supposed to be there 15 minutes ago. If anyone lives in Austin, thinks they want it, I can give it to you on tennis. Or pickleball, whatever. Racket sport's kind of my thing. Or hockey. Or soccer. Honestly, just any sport. Any sport. So phase 4 is Amazon. So remember how earlier I was like, we're going to send 2,000 units to Amazon. And the reason we do that is because for us, we ordered 6,000 units of this, right? 4,000 goes to our 3PL. 2,000 goes to Amazon. And the reason why we do that is because once we start popping off on TikTok, there's something called the spillover effect, right? And the spillover effect is a lot of people will see a TikTok video, not buy on TikTok Shop, but they'll look your brand and your product up on Amazon and buy there. And so the whole strategy is once you start popping off on TikTok, you want to have units available in Amazon so that once you start popping off, all you got to do is click a button and turn on your Amazon listing so that it's live, right? And Amazon has something called the honeymoon period, which is, I wrote it right here, which is for the first 90 days, Amazon basically, you have no history with them. They're trying to give you the best shot at succeeding. And so if you can crush the first 90 days of you making your listing live on Amazon, you will start ranking on all your major keywords. You'll just start crushing it, right? If you fuck up the launch on Amazon, you're kind of cooked. And so that's why we ship the 2,000 units to Amazon so that once we start crushing on TikTok, all we got to do is just turn on the listing. We capture all that spillover. We start ranking heavily on the first page for all our major keywords. And if we can crush this for the first 90 days, we fucking win, right? And side note is do not, let me say it one more time. Do not go out of stock on Amazon no matter what. That is like the cardinal sin of Amazon, especially in the first 90 days, is like you do not want to fucking go out of stock. Because imagine you're putting all this effort, you're spending all this money in launching your product, and it's going well. All of a sudden, you got out of stock. You lose all your fucking momentum, all the money, all the time, effort, energy that you put into launching. Oh God, my back hurts. Oh fuck. So do not go out of stock, no matter what. I don't care if you fucking break even. You got to airship shit. Whatever you do, just make sure you do not go out of stock on Amazon. Trust me, been there, done that. Not fun. Okay, so I'm just warning you right now, as the older brother or maybe younger brother you never had. Do not go out of stock. Right. I have a bunch of shit here too. Make sure your listing is optimized. Have QR code on packaging that leads to a review funnel. So, hypothetically, you should have a QR code on your packaging on Amazon, on the units that you send to Amazon. Once a customer buys, they scan this code, they go to a page, hypothetically. It's against Amazon terms of service, but hypothetically, they scan it, you capture all their details, and then they leave you a 5-star reviews. Getting reviews on Amazon is probably one of the most important things that you can focus on. So, as well as try to get reviews from your friends and family as well. So I wrote here, launch only when TikTok Shop is doing around 3K per day and capture spillover traffic, okay? And then also you want to be running PPC ads, targeting your main keywords and your brand search. So that's kind of how we're planning on doing it. And then the last phase is once we kind of have both of those running, we'll take our top performing TikTok creatives, run them in Meta. This should be pretty straightforward. If it performs great on TikTok organically, chances are it's going to be great as an ad. We're also going to get a media buyer to test different ads and creatives. But the whole purpose of this is focus, right? You don't want to dilute your resources and time into a fuck ton of channels, right? Focus on one first, which I still believe TikTok is the most powerful channel you can crack because it makes everything else easier. So crack TikTok, then crack Amazon, then crack Meta. Okay? So focus on one channel, crack it, then move on to the next, and then crack the next, right? God. So yeah, that's kind of my plan on launching this new brand. I kind of already talked about where we're currently at. We're making the bottles right now and then shipping them over to our manufacturer. So problems and bottlenecks right now, honestly, not much, I would say. It's just the bottles are taking quite a bit longer than expected to manufacture. We had some problems with going back and forth with our packaging manufacturer on the bottle itself. The spray mist at one point was too strong, so we had to kind of restart the timeline because we changed up the mist spray so that it doesn't soak someone's pillowcase. Let me try to think. What else? Yeah, nothing really crazy right now. I think it's just executing, being focused on the plan. Everything's kind of running smoothly. It's just a matter of putting in the time, putting in the work, and putting in the hours in following the plan. I mean, I already laid it out, so just following this shit. So nothing, no bottlenecks or problems right now. It's just a matter of, actually executing. So, next steps is waiting for the packaging to finish, which hopefully by the end of the month, and then we're going to airship it over to our manufacturer in the States. In the meantime, what I'm going to start doing, or what I'm going to do, put it together, landing page, start running some ads, and then I think the highest leverage thing I can do as a founder right now is start building hype, start documenting everything, and then also start pulling together all the creators, right? Because the creators are the lifeblood of the business. So my job as the founder is how can I attract the best talent, which is the creator, incentivize them, and make them excited, make the creators excited to promote for my brand, right? So it's about finding them, attracting them, keeping them, and getting them excited. So that's kind of what the next step as I inch closer to launch would be, is just finding these creators, trying to get them on the phone, explain the vision, why it's lucrative for them, get them excited, and all that sort of shit, right? So I basically just laid out, all my entire plan. If you guys stayed all the way to the end, please drop me a, let me think. Type out no trace in the comments if you have made it this far. Just no trace in the comments, so I know you watched it to the end. But yeah, this is pretty much the plan that I wrote down and I'm going to follow. And the goal for this brand is to do 100K our first month, $1 million a month by month 3, and nationwide Sephora in like a year or something like that. Yeah, a year, I'd say. But yeah, I hope this video was helpful. Like I said, this is basically, if you watch to the end, this is basically my entire plan on launching this brand. But as you probably know, knowledge is a commodity. Like anyone can just ChatGPT this or watch a bunch of YouTube videos and learn about this. But I think execution is everything, right? You can have a great idea, but if you don't execute on it, it's just an idea, right? And that's what separates successful people and not successful people, because I think everyone in their lifetime has come across $1 million idea, and the thing that separates from people that just have an idea and actually $1 million brand is execution, right? So if you watch this video all the way to the end, I basically gave you the entire blueprint. But if you want to work with me one-on-one in helping you launch your own brand and scale your own brand using the strategies that I've outlined with TikTok Shop, with Amazon, with creators, with building a brand that you're passionate about, and actually helping you execute on this and keeping you accountable in actually doing it. As long as you're committed, I can help you. And so I've left a link in the description. It should be the first one, where it takes you to a page just like this, where I work with you one-on-one in helping you develop your passion project brand, bringing it to life, coming out with the idea, designing it, all that sort of stuff, right? As long as you're committed and you're all in on it, click this button right here. You can fill out a bunch of different information, should be like 30 seconds or less, and someone on my team will reach out to see if we're a right fit, if you want to work with me. But other than that, guys, thanks for watching. I'm going to be more consistent, I promise you. Episode 6 coming out next week. Hopefully I have more exciting updates for you guys. But thanks for watching. As always, like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.